Welcome to Vintage Weights PGH. I'm Rob, and I'm here to tell you all about these unbranded Olympic deep dish weight plates. We'll get into the history, the restoration, and finally a review on today's Vintage Weights PGH video review. So let's dig into the history of these unbranded Olympic deep dish weight plates. They're nicknamed skinny scripts because, well, the script is skinny. These are often mistaken for and mixed up with unbranded Ivankos, but a great way to tell the difference, besides for weight accuracy and overall quality, would be the O in Olympic. The O in Olympic on the skinny scripts is skinny. The O in Olympic on unbranded Ivankos is a round circle. These were sold originally as mass-produced generic plates from Perry Rader's Iron Man magazine. I have a couple copies of Iron Man magazine that I can reference here. This one is from 1959, and most of the 50s into the 60s, on the back was an advertisement for Iron Man plates. However, a shift came about, and well into the 70s, and then this issue is from 1980, we find, as well as many other companies advertising, and if I flip and flip and flip through the magazine, I finally get to this page, which has some of their weights for sale, including our skinny scripts. Let me just read to you just one second. We'll have a little story time here that will lead well into the later part of this review. It says, above you see our Olympic type plates with 2-inch holes and reinforced hubs. Plates are not machined to exact weight, but are very close. Not machined to exact weight. Keep that in mind. Now, getting into the restoration, I used oxalic acid on these plates because I wanted to just take off the rust but leave any original paint. And after about 6 to 8 hours, I was left with this deep, dark patina, which I wanted to just stop there. Sometimes it's nice to have this old school look, in my opinion, and when I was examining it, especially the back, it was quite apparent to me that not much original paint was left. So, at that point, I hit it with baking soda, let it dry, and then applied some finishing oil. I know that was a quick run through of the oxalic acid process. If you go to my website, or if you go to any of my other videos dealing with it, you can find a more in-depth review. On my website, I have directions as well as reference pictures and videos. Right here though, it's still a little shiny. You might notice there's still some greasy, slippery things. Like all my gripsters out there, my grip strength athletes, are cringing. That's because I tried something other than 3-in-1 oil. What I tried was a product called Ballistol, I believe it's called. It sounded good. Money back guarantee. I'm not going to send it in. It's all right. They can keep my money. Eco-friendly. But as you can see on these plates, it never stopped shining. It never stopped being slick. So I would advise, at this point, don't go with Ballistol if you're finishing plates. Just stick with good old-fashioned 3-in-1 oil. Now, I referenced with the Iron Man magazine advertisement how these plates were not machined for accuracy. And it shows. Starting out with the 45s, let's take a look at the quality of the casting. To say the least, it's not good. The 45s are actually some of the better cast. Not many casting flaws. If you look at the lettering, there's a couple raised bumps over on this one. The lettering is fairly clear and numbering. The spokes along the edges. There's a couple little bumps, but nothing major. And then as we go down the line, so does the quality. On the 35s as well as the 25s, there are these sections that are just really rough, almost like a topographical map of mountains sticking up in terms of a flaw. Over here on the 25, I'll show you. All right here, it marks up the lettering. I debated when I was cleaning these up if this was some type of buildup, and I gave it a little test with a chisel just to see, and no, that's in the casting. And then when we get down to the 10s, they're actually, at least this pair of 10s, very clean. And, you know, I'm sure some of that has to do with the lack of lettering and numbering. You know, it's just a smooth surface. But the backs of these as well are fairly good. I mean, there are backs of York deep dish that don't look this nice. So something about the casting process that they had with the skinny scripts left the backs looking nice and flat, but the fronts not so much.
The play on the bar is pretty sloppy with the skinny scripts. To be fair, this is a modern barbell, and on a vintage barbell it might be a little better, but look at the gap between the weight and the bar. In terms of accuracy, 2% is kind of the gold standard within 2%, and boy, the 10s are off. 25s did the best, they're within 2%. The 35s, hit and miss, started out pretty good, but then, almost 5% off. Same with the 45s, started out pretty good, and not so much.
So there you have it. Not that accurate, especially once you get past the 45s. They have some casting flaws that probably, would stand out to most people. And on modern bars especially, there's a lot of play on the bar. So then why in the world would you pick these up? Well, in my opinion, the strength of the skinny scripts would be that they're still deep dish. Deep dish plates are going to run you quite a pretty penny when you buy them new. And more collectible deep dish plates are going to get snatched up on the used market arguably faster than these. So the benefit that these have is that you can go and you can get yourself some deep dish that, may or may not be accurate. But as compared to other generic mass-produced plates of the modern age, weigh your generic plates. They're not that accurate either. Go and get yourself some skinny scripts. They're probably the least valued of collectible deep dish, but I will keep a pair of these and possibly the whole set in my collection for quite a long time. I'm happy that you tuned in. Thanks for watching this far. Make sure if you haven't yet that you subscribe to my channel. While you're here on YouTube, check out Garage Gym Radio and my podcast, Home Gym History. If you go to Spotify or iTunes, you can also search for Home Gym History. Thanks for stopping by. Old weights, new gains.